Okay, hello there fellow Stairway to Hellers and retro enthusiasts and YouTubers everywhere. Today I'm going to be looking at my Acorn Atom, which is the first computer, well, the first programmable computer I should say, which I got in 1981. The main reason I dug it out was because I wrote at the beginning of the 80s a few games. The first one, which is on side 2 of this cassette, is Robot Nim. This was based on a game that I'd seen on a Commodore PET. It's the classic game of Nim, but with some animated robots. And on the main side we've got X-Wing Attack and 321. Now, this is the only tape I've got that I know about that's got these 3 games on. It's stored, as you can see, on a W.H. Smith C12 computer cassette. Now the C obviously stands for cassette. 12 means there's 12 minutes. That's 6 minutes one side and 6 minutes the other side. I've got a little box here. This was for a C15. Now, for the younger viewers who don't remember cassettes normally came in C30, C60s and C90s, which was 30 minutes, 1 hour and 1.5 hours. You could also get C120s, but the tape was very thin and with rewinding and forwarding could easily break. So these were supposedly high quality cassettes, but not very long in duration, just long enough to store up to 6 or 12 kilobytes of software. I mean, it's quite unbelievable by today's memory standards. Anyway, if I can stay out of my own light, I've got Old Faithful here, which is my original cassette that I used for data storage. It's got a little level meter here for the recording, and up the side you've got the volume and tone, which used to have pencil marks on them to tell me exactly where to put them so that the programs would load reliably. I actually modified this cassette quite a bit. There's a little switch on the side here, and this can be used to switch between the tape head and an input through a resistor there. I'm not going to open it up and show you my amateurish soldering, but you've got an earphone socket, a remote socket which turns the motor on and off, and a microphone socket. You've also got a DIN plug for record and playback functions. The microphone socket was mainly for an external microphone. Runs off mains lead, which is here. It's this kind of connector, which, as you probably saw before, goes in the side here. It's also got a little tape counter on it. Connecting to the computer is the 7-pin DIN BBC Micro and Acorn Atom cassette DIN plug. You've got a common ground in the middle and the signals either side of that, but also the bottom 2 pins connect to this remote socket here, which is, when you do Star Motor 1, makes a contact between them and starts the tape playing. Now when the pin's out, it will enable the motor. When it goes in, it breaks the connection and reroutes it so that it travels via the cable to the 7-pin DIN plug. Also, we've got a very oldie-worldy aerial connector. Now unfortunately I couldn't dig out my old television set, so I've got this flat screen TV to try it with. I do have an old television set, but it's somewhere hidden behind all this stuff. I've got a very old micro TV down here, which is, I say micro, it's a portable 4.5 inch black and white television with a cassette recorder. Not very good for using the computer on, so we're going to go with the flat screen for demonstration purposes. Okay. The Atom came with its shiny error code list. The error codes were generated by a break command, and then whatever a value was in the accumulator, I think, gave these sort of random error codes. It was just a way of making the BASIC run a bit in a bit more of a smaller space. So you've got the error codes on one side, character codes on the other. It's quite pristine, this chart. It's quite shiny and fairly new looking. Okay, the Atom was powered by a power supply. This one, don't know if it will show up on here, probably too reflective, but it says 240 volts AC in, 8 volts at 1.2 amps DC output. Now this needed to be regulated. I'll show you the inside of the Atom with the regulator. There's a bit of a discoloration on the case there because that part of the case is over the regulators, and that's obviously got a little bit hot. Just take you through some of the stuff that come with it. We've got the purchase note, which we've seen, Acorn service scheme goods return note, Atomtel brochure. Now I believe Atomtel is it's not teletext based, it's based on the 6847 CRTC cathode ray tube controller chip, which does similar kind of thing with the block graphics, but wasn't advanced as the SAA 5050, the teletext chip, and was also less advanced than its successor, the 6845, which is used inside the BBC Micro for all the other modes. But obviously at some point there was a clear zero or block graphics mode Prestel type service available for the Atom. I've tried to do some clear zero pictures myself. Some of you might have seen my 6847 artwork attempts, but it's quite good. So that's the Atomtel flyer. We've got the Atom Technical Manual, which was a manual that showed you how to build and solder the circuit board. There we go. And resistor colour codes. I'm not going to go through that because that's available online. I've got quite a nice, pristine copy of the circuit diagram. It's quite, some of these are quite faded, but the lines on these, I don't know if you can see, it's quite a nice circuit diagram. And we've got programs advertised, so let's see if I can get a bit more depth on this shot. Games Pack 1, we've got Asteroids, Subhunt and Breakout. Games Pack 2, Dogfight, Mastermind, Zombie. Games Pack 3, Rat Trap. If we can give this a shake, we see Games Pack 3 continued. Lunar Lander, Black Box. Games Pack 4 was Star Trek 4-0. Space Attack. Games Pack 5 Invaders, Wumpus, Reversi. Games Pack 6 Dodgems, Simon, Amoeba. Games Pack 7 Green Things, Ballistics, Snake, Soft VDU, which I was actually after the font for ages. Maths Pack 1 Plot, Simultaneous Equation Solver, and Regression Thingy-majig. Utility Pack 1, which is a disassembler, fast cassette operating system, and a renumbering utility. And then we have the Word Pack ROM. Now I'll show you this later because I know that my Atom has the Word Pack installed, so I'll come back to that. Right, this is a bit of a tatty thing. It's obviously got wet somewhere. More programs for the Atom from Acornsoft, Atom Database, and then Atom Business, Pico Computer, Maths Pack 2, and then we've got Games Pack 8, which was Stargate, Gomuko, and Robots. Right. Now this document here is the Acorn Word Pack manual. Now I don't know if this is available online. I'll be making a scan of it if it isn't. As you can see, the title there, the Atom Text Editor / Processor. Like I say, I'll make that available online if it isn't already. Atomtel brochure again, another spare Atom Technical Manual, and what's left of my Acorn Atom Manual, Atomic Theory and Practice. Okay, so just a quick note on the power supply. I know a lot of people are having trouble locating this kind of connector, which is what the Atom had. So I had a standard mains plug on one side, but I have actually got another second Atom's mains supply. Now this one, the mains plug's missing off it, but that's no big deal. Just a case of putting a mains plug on there, and some naughty person, probably me, has cut the much sought after 5-pin barrel plug connector. Now we used to use a lot of these in various circuits, so I've also got this is probably a kit one. It's got the little tension relief to stop it pulling, and the connector on the other end. Also, that comes with this, which is the Acorn Atom 5-volt socket. Now, if I just show you how that goes in there. Nice and snug. But that's what they looked like before they went on the PCB. They've got 3 connectors. Whoops, there we go. Right, so I've got a spare power supply, a spare power lead, a spare power socket. I have got another one that's been even more cannibalised, and another barrel socket. This one's brand new, but it's not the same as the Atom one, although you probably, with a bit of wire, could sort of marry it up somehow. And then yet another and yet another. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 5-volt connectors, plugs, 2 5-volt sockets, one an Acorn socket, the other not, and a spare power supply. Okay. On the back we can see the serial number 666035, and I'm actually going to open this up. I don't think these are the correct screws. They're big, massive wood self-tapping screws by the looks, but after it's been opened a certain number of times and the plastic stripped off, they're actually quite good. Okay, I'll sit down for this. Opening it up, you can see inside there's some really horrible soldering on the keyboard. I'm tempted to go over it, but if it's working I probably won't, because it could actually make matters worse. On the inside again you've got the serial number 666035 and 202000. I don't know what that is. Let's just to peel this back and see what that says. Yeah, over there it says 202000 issue 4. Now